Hello, everyone. Today we are sharing the key highlights from our interview with Scott Edwards, successful real estate investor with over a decade of real estate investing and development experience. You may have watched Scott on YouTube with his popular videos covering Nile Niami's beautiful mansion, which is the largest and most expensive home in America. In one of his videos posted to his channel, Scott talks to 𝗖𝐋𝐈𝖖𝐊, founder of Tangerine LV, one of the main technology contractors for Nile Niami's The One mega mansion in Bel Air, California, with a massive 105,000 square feet in size. If you want to take a tour inside this beautiful home, check out Scott's video here. But don't miss our conversation with Scott to find out how he got to where he is today and learn his journey to success. You're going to love it. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing, Mo?
Awesome. No, I'm super excited, super pumped to have you on the show. I've been watching your videos, Scott, and thank you so much for accepting my invite to join the show. I think you're going to bring a super interesting perspective to this episode.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, let's get into it. So why don't you introduce yourself to our audience, Scott?
So my name is Scott. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and no relation, Scott in Scottsdale. I've been in Arizona most of my adult life. I'm 34 now, and the reason I'm on the channel and talking with you today is related to my real estate experience, which I started investing in about 10 years ago. So my current situation is I do still work a corporate job from 8 to 5. I also invest in real estate pretty heavily on the side. And I also started a YouTube channel and I'm sharing my experiences there as well. So I've worked, like I said, a corporate job for pretty much my entire adult life. And I climbed up the corporate ladder pretty early on and found myself in management roles. And I found myself feeling really fulfilled by the filling my days with helping people, developing people, coaching people, mentoring people. And so when I got started with real estate investing, I always wanted to see if I could find a way to incorporate that side of me of that where I really enjoy coaching and developing and mentoring people, but through real estate instead. So in the back of my mind, I always thought like maybe I'll write a book someday, or, you know, I wasn't sure exactly what it looked like, but I figured first things first, I need to get some real experience under my belt. And then after that, I would like to share those experiences with the world. That's the reason is I just genuinely enjoy helping people and sharing my experiences and telling my stories. I feel like there wasn't enough of that going on when I first started in real estate investing myself. And so I want to be able to be someone who kind of pays it forward and helps other people who are looking to learn to invest.
And that's amazing. I mean, for you, having started with real estate, that's such a young age. I think you were around 24 or so when you started it. Right now, over the years, you've collected and learned a lot of lessons along the way, sharing that with your audience. I believe a lot of the videos that you've made are related to real estate, though it seems like you're branching out a little bit and getting discussing some other topics I've noticed most recently.
Yes, I try to keep the core theme real estate related. So yes, I do branch out a little bit, and you've noticed that more recently because it's a good problem to have, but I recently sold out of 3 big deals. And so I don't currently have any active real estate deals right now other than a rental property that I own down the street and then this house that I own that I live in. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of my content for the past several months was me sharing my experiences with these investments that I had actively going on. And now I'm in this position where I'm looking for the next deal. And so I've shifted the focus of my channel in the meantime to be able to still put content out. But once I find the next deal, I'll go back to sharing those experiences and doing more kind of vlog style videos where I take the viewers along for the ride to go see the property and learn about what happens during the inspection period and all of that.
Looking forward to it. I'm going to do a little bit of flashback to, I think, when you were 24, about 10, 11 years ago. In one of your videos, you mentioned that was the very first time that you bought your first property, and it was in South Scottsdale, Arizona. You mentioned in that video that you bought it around 179. Later on, fast forward in 5 years, you sold it 315, and that was one of your most profitable purchases that you've done. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and maybe how did you get started with real estate in the first place?
Definitely. And first off, hats off to your due diligence. I really appreciate you coming so prepared with these questions. So that is a fun story. So that was the first house that I purchased for myself, and at the time I was actually looking for an investment property. I don't know if you or your viewers have heard of house hacking, but it's the idea of where you buy a duplex or a fourplex and then you live in one unit and then you rent the other units out. And so you almost live for free because your tenants end up paying the whole mortgage. But the market out here was really competitive at that time. And so I was going after some duplexes and fourplexes, but I wasn't getting any under contract. And so I decided to pivot and just buy a single family house and just have roommates instead, because I figured that was the next best thing. And so I did that, and that was, it worked as planned. I had roommates and they basically covered my mortgage, but it wasn't necessarily, it was still my primary residence. So I don't look at it as my first deal, but why I look at it as my most profitable deal is because not only did I make good money on that house when I sold it 5 years later, but that house is a lot of what inspired me to start flipping houses, because the house was $179,000 and it was a beautifully finished home, nicely remodeled, you know, the kitchen, the bathrooms, the flooring, everything. And here I was, first time home buyer with a very, you know, didn't have a whole lot of money to put down. So I needed something turnkey, ready to go. And so I was looking back at tax records and I realized I just bought this house for $179,000, and the person I bought it from just bought this house for $103,000 6 months ago. So I'm like, they're onto something. You know, not only did they probably make some good money on this house, but they provided a great service. You know, I was looking for my first home and a place to live. And so I was just infatuated with this whole concept. So again, I made good money on the house itself, but the house also is what inspired me to move on to start flipping houses. And shortly after I did.
It's almost like it kind of kick-started your journey, because it piqued your interest. You really did a lot more research on it. And from there on, kind of, you kind of got to that system, right? If you can replicate the system and get it on from there, why not?
Yep, definitely.
Have you done a lot of deals since that first purchase?
Yes, I have. I've looked back, and this sounds crazy, but I've lost count of how many houses I've bought and sold over the years, because there really have been so many and so many different kinds. But it's been an average of 2 or 3 per year since then, and primarily house flips, where I buy a house for $300,000 or $400,000, and then I do a cosmetic remodel and then sell it for a profit. So most of the deals have been house flips, but I did one new build about 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was 2017. That was a lot of fun. So we scraped that house and rebuilt a new one in its place. I got into the rental business and the Airbnb business over the course of the past several years as well. I've since exited that business, but yes, I've done a ton of deals since then. And originally I thought that I was starting a house flipping business, and that was my plan and my vision and my goal. But I quickly realized that I could have become a master at house flipping, but I would have missed out on a lot of opportunities, because there were other opportunities that were coming my way that weren't necessarily that cookie cutter house flip. And there's a lot of competition in house flipping too. So I always needed to be adaptable and be willing to pivot to different styles of investing. And still to this day, I'm totally open-minded. My phone could ring later tonight with some off the wall deal that I've never heard of before, but I'll be open-minded to looking at it and running the numbers.
Keeping your options open. Now, do you have a real estate license, Scott?
No, I don't.
Oh, wow. So it's not a must essentially for you to have it to pursue this investment from an investment lens.
Correct. Yeah, there are some investors I know who they have a license themselves, or maybe their spouse has a license, just to save that on that expense. For me, it was just, I actually, right out of high school, I got my real estate license, but very long story short, I put my license to inactive and became a mortgage loan officer instead, because there was more opportunity there for me at the time. And I've never looked back. I'm glad I went through real estate school at such a young age, because I learned a lot, but it's almost like a conflict of interest for me to have my license, because I think I would be distracted in all the nuances that come with being a real estate agent. And I'd be held to a certain standard that agents are held to, where I just want to stay focused on my business and building my business. And then when I have questions around contracts and transactions, I can go to a real estate agent and they're my expert, and I can really lean on them as that person to help me navigate through a deal.
you're really tapping into their expertise for that, and you perhaps focusing on more so finding the right deals that is best suitable for you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. I'm part one of our interview with Scott Edwards. We've provided the link to Scott's YouTube channel in the description, so be sure to check it out and follow Scott as well. And of course, if you gained something of value from this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Here on Momentum Finance, we post every week several videos about investing, whether it's investing in the real estate, stock market, and cryptocurrencies, as well as ways to reach financial freedom. Thank you, and we hope to see you next time.